Hello there everyone, I am Pepino back playing more Kerbal Space Program. And what I've just done is made a few wild guess modifications to this Munar orbiter Mark 1 and named it Mark 2. We've added another fuel tank to the middle section. We've added a second stage, or another stage, with small solid boosters. And we've set all three of these to fire at once. I'm hoping that that'll avoid the spin out. We've also added the reaction wheel right here under the heat shield, which should hopefully give us a bit more control over the craft. Hopefully. So yeah, all in all, same basic design, still fairly dangerous, and we are going to see if maybe this time it'll work. Crew, I guess let's stick with Jeb. I want to level him up. Valentina has already got 1 star, and we can't have Jeb falling behind. So, we're going to let him take this flight as well, and I guess let's save and get ready for launch. Okay, so, let's see. Should maybe wait. Let's warp till it's daytime, so that this launch is a bit better to watch for you guys. There we go. Okay, cool. Now, we will turn on our SAS, fire up our engines. Let's get this stuff ready. Okay, we are ready to go in 3, 2, 1. There is blast off. We are hopefully going to stick on a straight course and get going very, very fast up into the sky. And then our second stage of boosters will hopefully keep propelling us once we ditch these. And then that'll hopefully get us up high enough to where the rest of the fuel that we've brought with us, the liquid fuel, will be able to get us into orbit and then push that orbit out to around the moon. So we are going very, very fast now. We can ditch those boosters, fire the second set of boosters. No, don't drift wildly. Why would you drift wildly off course now? Why? It's something with the second stage of solid boosters. For some reason, it is just messing things up. Okay, well, let's drop those. Let's try and salvage this, if possible. We're going to begin turning over and try to get up into some form of orbit, I think. So, here we go. Whoop, come on. We're turning a bit sharply here, but that'll be okay. Turn on our SAS again there and hold steady right there and hope that that works. It was a pretty large waste of fuel right there, but maybe we can still salvage something out of this trip. Who knows? If we could get up into orbit with this stage, I think we could do it, or get up at least higher. We'll see how high we can get with this stage. Jeb is chilling out. He'll at least probably get into an orbit this time. That is a first for Jeb, I believe, so maybe he'll get some more experience for that. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what gives them experience. I could look it up, I'm sure, but I have not yet. Okay. So let's fire that, and we are on our last stage. Let's turn way over here and just work on extending this orbit and getting out into space. Now we've got one more fuel tank on here than we had last time, and we had quite a bit of fuel on here last time. So I think maybe we could make a shot for the moon, even with how horrible that little section of the launch was. I think we could maybe do it. So let's just try and get up into orbit here, and then we'll take inventory of our situation, see how much fuel we actually have and if I think it'll be enough, maybe check a maneuver node. Hopefully you don't have to unlock those, do you? Oh, I bet you do. Great. So, we don't have maneuver nodes. So I'm going to wildly guess, and if we need to, maybe we'll go and rescue Jeb at some point. That may have to be a thing in the future. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Let's wait until we get up to our apoapsis here, and then circularize our orbit. And then, once we get there, I think we'll have enough to at least try for a Munar encounter. The thing is, yeah, without the maneuver nodes, it's basically going to be just me hoping that we can do it. I'm gonna have no idea, and there's a decent chance Jeb will just be stuck out in space. And yeah, that's not ideal. Not ideal. But these are the sacrifices that sometimes have to be made. We'll just see if this is one of those times or not. Okay, so any second now we should see our periapsis appear, and then we will be in some form of an orbit with not a whole lot of fuel left, I'll be honest. We could start burning towards the moon, and then stop ourselves if we realize we're definitely going to run out of fuel. And I think that'll probably be what we have to do. So, once we pull this up a little bit farther, we will cut the engines right there, and we will warp until we see the moon rise. That is when we are going to want to start burning, is when we see the moon start to rise. So, just gotta keep our eyes peeled, not warp too fast, any of that stuff. Okay, so it's coming up pretty darn soon. So we're gonna turn to face prograde here. And then do a bit more warping. Just a bit more. There's the moon. Okay, so the moon is starting to rise, and we are starting to burn. Just burn straight prograde, and we'll see how high this will get our apoapsis, if it's going to be even close to getting a Munar encounter. And then if we can get a Munar encounter, hopefully we could somehow like slingshot ourselves around a bit so it lowers our periapsis. That would be ideal, but again, without a maneuver node, that's mostly going to come down to luck. So what I'm saying is this could be a rough time for Jebediah if we don't end up having enough fuel. But we'll see. We are extending our apoapsis quite a bit, so who knows? Who really knows? We're going through fuel, I guess, fairly fast. And, I mean, he's going to set an altitude record, and maybe we could get a Munar encounter. Who knows? But we have to make sure we do not run out of fuel, because if we do and he's stuck up in orbit, this is going to be one heck of a trajectory to try a rescue mission, especially if we hit some weird interaction with the moon. But hey, you know what? Actually, I think we're going to get out far enough. It's just going to be a matter of are we going to be able to come back? So, we're going to do this slowly. Alright. Can you imagine how much fuel we would have if we didn't end up wasting a bunch? Oh no, are we gonna be too low? God dang it. Okay. Which way do we need to burn? This way, maybe? Can I set the moon as a target? No, I can't, because we don't have any sort of technology. Okay. Well, I think if we burn this way for a while, maybe it'll raise up our thing here. And maybe we'll get an encounter, perhaps. Some chance. Is that... no, that doesn't look promising. And we're way too far out now anyway. Well, maybe we can just go really far out and come back. And will that allow us to get any more science? Because I think the fact that we did that crazy spin out is what messed up our trajectory. And I'm not exactly sure which direction to burn to fix it. I mean, okay. We would have to burn and slow ourselves down quite a bit. So maybe if we burn this way, will this bring us close to some sort of encounter? Maybe. Doesn't look like it. Okay. If we burn like... yeah, I think we gotta burn this way. That would make sense. But I don't know if it's going to work. Nope. Now we appear to be a bit too high. I might have also misremembered how exactly to get to the moon without maneuver nodes. So that is a possibility. Let's just warp out there and see what we can do. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. We're gonna go towards the moon. Getting out there a bit farther. How close did we come? We'll see. Oh hey, that's not too far off. Okay. If only I could have some form of maneuver node to figure out how the hell I'm supposed to get closer to this thing. Oh wow. Jeez. Okay. I had an encounter. I was gonna say, I thought it should be close enough to get an encounter, but it didn't show up. Why would it... oh no. It didn't show up. This means I'm gonna be launched into some random trajectory. Okay. Okay. We're fine. We are fine. This is totally okay. We have to decide though now. Do we try and park Jeb in an orbit around the moon and therefore make him easier to rescue, or hope that the trajectory he is launched out on is not horrible and that we can return to Kerbin with what fuel we have left? I don't know if we can get him in orbit around the moon. I really don't. We're going to do the science, because that is what he is here for, and he will do his duty. But whether or not we can actually, you know, save it and get it back home, who knows. Okay, we will keep this data. We will observe the materials bay and keep the data. We will EVA and report and keep that. Okay, so we've got everything. Let's do a second goo container, just in case we can get the half science. And I guess let's warp on down toward the moon. Okay. So, it's coming down to time to decide what we're going to do. I'm guessing the path that we are on is probably not going to be terrific. But maybe this is enough fuel to get us back. I probably messed up and used so much fuel just trying to fix an encounter that I already had because it didn't show up. And I did not expect it to not show up. I really need to upgrade more of my facilities, holy cow. Okay, well, let's just try and go past the moon. We'll drop down into hopefully low orbit and see what happens. Is this low enough to be considered low orbit? Nope, it is still high over the moon. Okay. So that is that. If I knew how to burn to better do... Okay, I wonder if I burned retrograde. Would that slow me down, thus not launching me out as fast? And therefore making me closer to Kerbin? No, hold on. Alright, what does this do? Okay, you know what? I wonder if I could actually get in orbit around the moon. You know what? I'm going to do it. We can. We are going to orbit around the moon, Jeb. And we will figure out how to get you home later. This may have been a waste of fuel if we would have had enough fuel to get out of here on our own, but I don't know that we're going to. So, we're gonna have to figure out potentially either Jeb is going to be we're gonna turn this into a space station, I think, for a little while. That is gonna be a good option. Or I suppose we could use a quick save. I don't usually use them for my missions, but okay. Hold on, let's quick save, and let's see if we burn to get just barely out of here. Okay, so we just barely escape. What's that going to look like for our orbit? Okay. So, I think that was probably not a great use of fuel, what we did there. All of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop all the way around anyway. We're going to get some more goo reports. And then, since that is pretty useless, we are going to just burn retrograde and hope to God that we didn't screw this up too terribly, but we probably did, because we wasted fuel in like at least 3 different spots. But let's see. Can we bring ourselves down enough with the fuel we have to actually somehow still get back to Kerbin? It is going to be very, very close.